Hello and welcome to the Level 30 podcast. This is episode 7. My name is Tom and I'm sitting alongside Joe and Kevin today. They have the case of the giggles for sure, only because we've tried to start this podcast 7 times. Welcome to our show, first show of 2020, which is really exciting, and I'm hoping you're noticing and enjoying also our new set. Not new set, it's the same location. I just decided to try having these comfortable chairs to sit in. Have it look a little bit more presentable. If you like the new look, let us know. If you missed the old look, tell us. But this is substantially more comfortable than the last one.
Yeah, so. Honestly, too bad. This is already better on my back.
Yeah. We also got some fancy camera set up so that we can punch into different angles over here. So we hope you enjoy that as well. I'm controlling that remotely from my laptop while looking at the rundown, so I apologize if there's some mix-ups. That's a little inside radio for you. Not that you needed to know, but welcome and thanks for coming to the Level 30 podcast. My name's Tom. I'm alongside Joe and Kevin, as stated before. Kevin, nope. Kevin.
And you looked at me when you said Joe earlier.
I'm so sorry. Kevin, how are you today?
I'm awesome because this is hilarious.
Yeah, we're off to a great start. And Joe.
I'm doing okay.
You are Joe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Today I am.
Today you're Joe.
Next week I'm
name tags.
Awesome. So we've got a loaded show for you today. Heading into this episode, we kind of been putting it off for a little bit, mainly at the behest of Kevin, who was insistent that there would be a Nintendo Direct in January.
Kevin was wrong.
I'm not wrong yet. We have next week.
There's
I'm
still
sorry. You're right.
9 days left, 8 days left in January. Now, I said February from the get-go. So it was kind of one of those, we're going to put it off until we get that news because we know we would do it, and then 3 days later, the Direct would be announced, and we'd be like, well, son of a gun, we should have just waited. But there's been such a slow trickle.
Tomorrow.
You know what? If it is, I'll buy you a taco.
We usually have a little bit of rumors beforehand, though. They're never like,
well,
if you're looking out for it, it's never
that.
really like a huge surprise.
There's,
Like there's always like, guys, there's probably a Direct coming next week or something. Like we usually hear like an inkling. I haven't heard anything.
I'm pretty sure since January started, like the 3rd day of January, it was like, all right, Direct rumors nonstop.
Yeah.
Because I think they just traditionally do one in January.
Also, there was the whole thing. It's like there was a pattern. I sent it to you guys. The Pokemon Direct and then a full-fledged Direct. Thanks, Tom.
No problem. We'll just talk into it.
Okay. And a full-fledged Direct like in a certain time span after.
Okay.
Right. And so we did get a Pokemon Direct. We'll talk about that a little bit too because there's some big news. We got a Smash Direct. So outside of a traditional Nintendo Direct, I think we're all anticipating an Animal Crossing Direct. We don't really know what's coming from them, but that's not they're not to say that there hasn't been a lot of information that's kind of popped out. So real quick, some recent Level 30 haps just to get through what we've been doing on the channel since the start of the year, as it was a quiet end of December, quiet beginning of January. Couple press start tapings have been done, so we got a few more coming out. We're toying with some new concepts. We're also pushing an effort to get more reviews out as well. We tend to hit the major releases, but there's a lot of smaller ones that we don't get to do a lot of for time reasons. And then there's a lot of like super big like games that are so big that because there's so much content already out there from other people and other platforms or mediums, it doesn't make sense for us to throw our hat into the ring unless we have something unique or special to say. So
everything we say is unique and special.
Well, to a degree it is, but like we did impressions on Pokemon, I didn't feel the need for a review given the amount of voice that was already out there on that topic. I didn't feel like we had anything unique to say that wasn't said already, and so we just kind of skipped it.
I think it's also pretty apparent that like Pokemon's not going to do well with like, I don't want to say with our audience, but with, you know, what we're going for as a level 30 gamer. Like it's not an easy game to put down for a long time and come back to.
Oh, I think quite the opposite. But at the same time,
maybe for the new one, I guess it's very
also
linear.
A game series that hit its start and heyday when we were 10 and 12 years old. You know, like that's Pokemon Blue and Red came out in what, 94?
No, 96.
96?
Well,
okay.
Pretty positive.
So
96.
like I was 11.
I was 6.
I was a little older.
Kevin's the oldest.
I was in high school.
So yeah,
Told you I was the oldest.
Okay, but like that's a game that you think would resonate with folks our age, but
40 games.
We opted to skip it. So
Almost.
There's going to be a few more coming. Tokyo Mirage Sessions came out last week, and I got a review coming in the pipeline. Kevin took some notes and is going to do something small for Ori and the Blind Forest, which is
small but amazing,
but an excellent game. So
that
just
game
stay
is
tuned for
incredible.
those.
I mean, Joe.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah, we've all played it. It's
I'm
really
actually
good.
excited for your review. No, I haven't played it.
Oh, you haven't?
What?
No,
Oh,
I haven't.
You're going to watch the review
Yeah.
and want to spend $20 immediately because it's a fantastic game.
Is it that good of a review?
Well, I don't know yet. Time will tell, Kevin. Make it
It's
good.
good, but the game's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will look forward to your review.
Okay, good. And I look forward to whatever Joe wants to review to help everybody out.
Everyone loves my reviews.
They're
All
really
two
well
of
written.
them.
All
Thank you.
two.
Oh my
That's fine.
Flatter me on camera like that.
So, well, now that we can flatter you on 3 different cameras. Anyway,
Cycle through all of them.
so we
Oh my
wanted
gosh.
to touch upon kind of like the speculation city that's going on right now with Nintendo and the Switch, because we got the rebirth of a conversation that we dabbled about a little bit last year, is something that maybe we saw coming. But I think in retrospect we were way off base in anticipating. And of course, I'm talking about the Switch Pro. I feel like it came out like 2 or 3 times over the course of last year, not just from us, but like everywhere.
Up in conversation.
We were talking about it because people were talking about it.
Well, there were so many little like details and things that pointed to it possibly happening, like certain types of new screens,
Right.
And then this insider, that insider, things out. But like more things have come up. I forget when, within like the last month,
last few weeks,
at
least,
Yeah.
since the beginning of the year.
So like the last month, as he originally said.
Yes, Captain Literal Man. Thank you. So, what do we think now in 2020, with a few months away from the Switch Lite? What do we think of this thing's actual existence?
I think it's absolutely coming eventually.
Well, okay, but do we think
do you
it's
mean?
coming this year?
I'm leaning yes. Just based on the industry insider, that the big one everyone was talking about, that production Q1 release spring summer, like I just feel like they would do that.
So, you think this is something that we would get prior to holiday timeframe?
Yes. Because the people that like I'll buy it that day.
Oh,
There's those customers that will buy the upgraded system like that, and then they can market the heck out of it, and then by holiday time, it's out. They could reduce the price of the standard Switch model, and it'll be a frenzy with 3 options, and they would market them all differently, like similarly but differently to different audiences. I guess if that makes sense.
okay. No, that absolutely.
Those are
makes
just my
sense.
thoughts. I have no inside info on it,
Joe, what do you
but that's
think?
just what I think will happen.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but figure this. We have the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever, coming out
Yeah.
holiday this year.
Yes.
So Nintendo's not going to want to compete with them directly, because are they going to win that fight? Like, granted, we were talking even in our text message the other day, just saying that most people have one of those consoles and then a Switch, or the Wii and the Wii U and whatever. It was always like that extra console that they had along with their the 2 main competitors. But it doesn't mean they're still not going to compete initially for sales, because no one's going to go out and buy both at the same time.
Right.
So do they want to get those sales in before, or do they want to get them in afterward? And it seems like Nintendo's been jumping on new console generations before rather than after. Like the Switch. The Switch technically came out before the latest one, because the Wii U would have been the competitor to the last generation, the PS4 and the Xbox One. So the Wii U was
True.
kind of in there. So the Switch came out before this. I mean, it was way before, but it did come out before this generation. So are they going to try and push another one out before this generation, or are they going to do it right afterwards? I think, to me, I'm not a market analyst or anything, but I think before is always the time and not after, because everybody will have already spent their money and they're going to go, I'm not going to go buy another one. But if you buy it beforehand, they're gonna say, I haven't spent the money yet, I can still buy this, rather than I'm waiting for something new to come out.
So I agree with that logic, but I also think then the flaw in that logic is that you're saying, okay, I'm not going to buy a PS5 because I just spent $300-400 on Switch Pro, but arguably they spent $300 on a Switch. So how many of the people that currently have current Switch hardware are going to then upgrade again? Because anyone that bought a Switch in the last 6 months to maybe even a year is not, I wouldn't think, going to say, okay, I'll upgrade immediately.
Can I?
Versus
I'm going to comment
people
on
that bought it at launch might not have a problem because it's been 2.5 years. I think you're right in saying they got out in front of it with the Switch initially, but I also think that was a product of the Wii U being a failure.
Yeah.
And so if the Wii U had a modicum of success that the Wii did, which would have been unrealistic in any facet, given the way that thing sold, would they have pushed it out as quickly as they did? I don't know.
Yeah. To your point that you brought up, how do you get people that may have bought a Switch within the last year, 6 months to a year? If you have a sleeker model with enhancements, like certain people are going to jump on that, just that it's shiny, new, better.
Depends on what the changes
It depends,
Certain people, and it
right.
depends
There's a
on the price
demographic.
point.
Yes. That's another. I wonder what the price point would be because this was $299.
Right.
So that comes to
which was
$320 with
the
tax
higher
roughly.
end of what people were anticipating given Nintendo's history.
Right.
Right, because that was more expensive than the Wii.
So I wonder,
and
like,
as expensive as the
if
Wii
there's a
U?
Pro,
I think they were the same price.
what are we thinking? $350?
Some of these rumors that are out
$375?
there are already
There's
saying
no
$399.
way it's hitting. Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Which
I
would be
don't know if
$100
that's true,
cheaper than PS5, Xbox.
which would be the marketing angle. It's $100
Right.
more than the current model, but it's still less
$100
than
cheaper
the
than-
new stuff.
You also got to figure,
Yeah.
and we kind of had this discussion when the Switch Lite came out. Are we I guess overdosing people on Switches? Are we saying like, hey, here's a Switch, here's another one, now here's a third one that's coming out? But also, are we confusing people? What's the difference between the Switch Lite, and the Switch Pro? Do we call it the Switch Lite because it doesn't play as many games as the Switch? Do we call it the Switch Pro because it's going to play games that the other two don't? Like the One X, the Xbox One X didn't necessarily play games that you couldn't play on the other systems, but there like you couldn't do the VR stuff and you couldn't do the 4K gaming on the older
the
Xboxes.
HDR, right?
Yeah, but also there's the new 3DS.
I was
which they
going to say,
stopped, but
Well, I think
all
that's-
that stuff with the 3DS,
Exactly, there
like,
were-
all
there
the
was-
different models.
there's a handful of games
They
that you
did.
couldn't play on the older games.
Right, and I'm hoping that they learn from that.
Right.
Because after that first very small wave of initial games, there weren't any companies that were saying, okay, we're going to make this game for the new 3DS only. So the OS loaded a little bit faster, and I can honestly think of two games that utilized
Xenoblade
it. It was
Chronicles.
Xenoblade and
I don't even remember what the other one was.
But they used the little nub.
not even the
No,
nub.
just
The
the
nub was great,
enhanced
but just the enhanced features of the hardware
Oh,
itself
okay.
because it was a little bit more powerful. I think the only thing that really comes to mind is Hyrule Warriors, which was also a Wii U game, was ported to the 3DS, and it could be played on the 3DS at an incredibly terrible frame rate, like somewhere like 15 to 20 frames a second. And so the new 3DS, like at least made it passable, even though everyone had said it's still not worth playing on the system.
It's a comfortable console though. I don't know what it was about it. Like it was just kind of like a joy to hold. Like it wasn't too heavy. It wasn't too unwieldy.
Yeah.
Considering
have
it's a
the weird
DS.
hingy creaks and the sharp corners that the other one did.
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
think, it was a little bit more
like,
comfortable.
My girlfriend has the smaller 3DS, so obviously it's smaller and it's not quite as comfortable because it's the older one. But like that thing it feels like an older generation console compared to my new 3DS, which is just so sleek and nice and comfy
Yeah,
to hold.
no,
It's really nice.
Nintendo has been historically fantastic at reiterating on its hardware in a really insightful or enticing way for folks that may already have that hardware. And sometimes it's as simple as, oh, you have a new 3DS, but here's a new 3DS.
Here's the Majora's Mask
and
edition.
yeah, a Zelda edition.
Here's
and
a
Metroid
Pikachu face edition.
And there are
Came
people that
out.
will
See?
collect those
Yeah, there are
because
lots
they're
of people like
different
that.
and they're one-offs. And I think that's really cool. But now we're not talking handhelds at a $100 to $200 price point.
Yeah.
We're talking main consoles. I think it would make sense for them to learn from that mistake. And if they're putting out new hardware, make sure that hardware is also capable of, to the same standard the current model plays games at, the new model does as well. Otherwise, you will fragment that audience a lot. And you've already got the concern of, I have a Switch Lite. What games can't I play based on the inability to take Joy-Con controllers off and things like that? So we'll see. I mean, I think if it came out, any of us here would be, for the most part, all in. I know Kevin and I would probably take off of work and go to the midnight release and drive
I would go to the
Nintendo
midnight release
store.
and come to work the next day.
Yeah, because you'd be walking around showing it off to all the kids.
Like, look.
So obviously circumstantial, but I don't know. I think it would be an interesting.
I hope it happens. I want it.
So
I think that launching close to, and a lot of people have said this is not like, I'm not taking credit for this thought, but like that and Zelda's, the next
Breath of
Zelda,
the Wild 2.
the same time, like marketing push.
Well, I think it'd be interesting because we're
Yeah.
also at a point now where, unless we get that direct soon, that anticipated direct, what's Nintendo's timeline for when E3 rolls around? And we know E3 is changing drastically. It was one of our listener questions. We'll get to it a little bit later. But if we know that, and again, just going off historically, if Nintendo's putting out a direct in June for E3, when does their direct hit between now and June? I would have to believe we'd get at least one.
Definitely one.
At least one. And we're probably going to anticipate some specific directs for specific titles. I would expect an Animal Crossing direct because despite the fact that game comes out in 2 months, there's not a lot of media attention given to it yet. So you figure you're going to get one of those, hey, we're doing 15 minutes on all the new Animal Crossing features. And okay, great. But that still lets us then say, realistically, we got a month and a half until we get a true full Nintendo Direct. And where does that line in with E3? Because if they are going to announce new hardware,
I think they're doing it before E3.
I think they might. I think they would tease it, maybe give some more information
Yeah.
around E3. And if you guys are accurate in saying it's going to come out prior to the heavy hitters from Microsoft and Sony, then it would need to say, okay, we're going to release this in September.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
if it's
before
not
that
holiday,
even.
it's got to be end of summer or summer, especially if we haven't really heard anything like concrete and solid about it.
Right.
It would have to be pretty soon.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so
I'm honestly hoping it's announced in the first direct of the year because I just want to know if it exists, and I want to know. I want to know what it is. I want to know what it does. I want it.
and I don't know if we'll
Want
get
it.
that. I
Nothing
don't,
about it. You want something
I
that
want it.
literally does not exist.
I
in
need
any
to
shape
know.
or
What if
form
it's-
right
This is
now.
why I need a direct. I need it.
what if it's
Where's the direct?
worse than the current model?
There's no way that would happen.
Here's a new Switch.
No
It's
way.
Got, less battery life.
It has
no internal storage.
Has all the drift you ever wanted.
It has horizontal Joy-Cons.
What
They
if
slide on
the
top
Switch
of the bottom
Pro
of the screen.
has a left Joy-Con with a D-pad? Ooh.
How about a pro level Joy-Cons? Like they have the Microsoft Elite controllers, which I believe are like fully customizable. Like you want
I
to
don't,
swap
I don't
out
like
the D-pad,
that you
take
can
it
do
out.
that. I feel weird.
I
don't like
love that. My favorite thing about it is I don't have one and I wish I did.
Triggers.
No, the underneath triggers.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
what I
cool.
mean.
Oh yeah, that you
Yeah.
can put underneath the
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
handle part. Yeah. Oh,
'Cause
God,
Sony
those are
just
great.
announced an attachment for their
Yeah,
DualShock 4s.
And the Steam controller has them.
Yeah.
It's one big button on either side, but it's super comfortable because you don't have to like
no,
pick
you
your
can
fingers.
rest your fingers.
Yeah, you just kind
You
of like
just
tap it,
you
right?
just squeeze that side of the controller. That's
Yeah.
all you need
right,
to do.
and
That's
they're
it's
fully
awesome.
configurable too.
Yep.
You can map any button to that. Yeah, I might get that for the PS4.
That said, if we're going in on like changing the D-pad, I want the like swivel twisty one that those like specific run of Xbox 360 controllers had, where you twist it one way and you get individual buttons, and you twist it the other way and you get a little like
remember that.
disc.
I can't see Nintendo doing that with the
No.
D-pad.
No,
Probably
probably
not.
not.
That
But I'm
seems too
just saying that's what I want.
confusing.
Not saying it's gonna happen. I'll bring the
No.
controller in. You can see it. It's really cool.
All right, so continuing on with rumor and speculation, as you kind of mentioned the outline for 2020, and Nintendo the last 2 years, especially with the Switch, knowing that they needed to get this hardware off the ground in a meaningful way, was very smart to kind of outline, hey, here are our big releases that you're going to get this year, and they would tend to have one really big major first-party game every month. And it became something to go, okay, cool, Zelda's out, and now we're waiting for Splatoon, and then Mario Kart, and it was just this stream of excellent games. But 2020 seems to be a little bit more in the fog, I think, when it comes to what to expect this year as far as software. And when you look at what came out last year, you had your Yoshis, and I mean, granted, you had Pokemon. And I'm drawing a blank on other titles, but Luigi's Mansion. You had a lot of like, are we even at B tier with these titles? Is Yoshi a B tier first party title, or does that fall into a C? You know what I mean? Like, what are we looking forward to this year as far as major releases go? So, circulating that rumor mill with two big teases for 2020. supposedly from credible sources, as Kevin pulls up their release chart. We'll get to that in a sec because I
Yeah.
put it in the rundown.
You put this in a rundown?
I put the key
Great.
tables in. But leave
Perfect.
that up. It's been rumored right now that we've got 2 major first-party titles coming.
Let me say them. Let me say them. I want to say them because they have me
Further
excited.
ado, here's
Look, he didn't get a direct. Let him have this.
Yeah, let me have this.
Okay, fair.
So the 2D Metroid is being rumored from 1 or 2 credible sources. Some say it could be a Metroid Fusion sequel / Metroid 5 for the Metroid fan base.
I've heard the Metroid Fusion sequel rumor. I think it's the.
I really hope it is in what like a Samus Returns that was on the 3DS remaster because that game is great.
I never played it because
It should have been on the Switch to begin with.
it came out at near the very end of the 3DS,
Mm-hmm.
so I jumped shipped already. There, once I got the Switch, I don't think I ever went back.
Wait,
to
did you
the
say you
3DS.
did not play that?
No, I did
If
not.
that does not come to the Switch, play that game.
I will
It
borrow it
is
from you.
very good.
I have a hard time.
No,
with
you will
Metroid
not
games.
get. You will not get to borrow my copy.
I'll return it. I just want to see if I actually like it. Metroid
It's great.
is a series that I want to love way more than I do, and
You should.
I was scarred when I was little.
Some people want it to be a remake of Super Metroid, which I have mixed feelings on because I love that game. And if they did a remake and if there was any flaw, I would be like traumatized by it.
Well, that's the game that I was scarred me. When I
Oh
was
my
little.
gosh, that game's amazing. All right, so there's 2D Metroid possibly, which I think is feasible this year.
I think it's definitely feasible
Because
this
if Mercury
year.
Steam is making it, they made Samus Returns on 3DS.
Okay,
So what have they been working on since that?
right, and I think it'd be a good stopgap
Mm-hmm.
for Metroid Prime 4, which does that and.
We don't know anything.
We don't know. We don't know. They essentially
It's
started
coming.
over this year,
Yeah.
right? Or last year. Start of last
last
year.
year. Yeah.
We got that announcement in January saying.
Speaking
hey,
of that,
we're
really quick,
scrapping
Retro
it.
Studios has been hiring some good developers. Like every time they hire somebody, like something freaked out about whatever. I don't want to go on a tangent. It looks good though. Looks
Kevin's
good.
excited for Metroid.
Oh
Where
my
does that
gosh, just
put-
give me the
Where do you
Metroid.
think that puts the trilogy?
Later this year, holiday,
Okay.
summer.
Okay.
I was gonna think that because if the 2D Metroid comes out and we get trilogy this year, that would be amazing. But they would want to space them out probably.
What if 2D Metroid comes out and Switch and does not sell well? As Metroid games tend to not do too well financially, do you think
They-
it would scare
yeah.
them from putting out the
No,
ports?
because they're different types of games.
Okay. All right. Joe, do you want to take the second rumor one, or is Kevin going to be angry?
Joe could have it.
Okay. I don't know. I look at the series and I'm like, this is a Joe series.
Why?
I don't know because
Why
it's
would you say
colorful
that?
and fun, and I think you would like it.
I'm not gonna lie. I am lost in the dock.
Oh, you
Oh,
suck.
Joe.
Joe failed.
It's my fault for not having the keyboard. I'm so sorry.
It's terrible. So the other game that is
Lost
rumored,
in the
I
dark.
found it.
go.
Paper Mario,
Paper Mario is
which
rumored.
is funny because I just added that game on Wii to my stack of games that I'm donating because I did not get that far into it.
Wait, was that Super Paper Mario?
It was it Thousand Year? I think it might have been Thousand Year Door.
No, that was GameCube.
No. Yeah, that was GameCube.
What?
The one on the Wii was like
think
a
it's just-
platformer, and it was
You can change the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
it was neat.
It's been a really
But it's
long time
not-
since I played it.
It's not the Paper Mario people of.
That's probably
I
why
enjoyed it.
Really
I just got
was not
fun.
fun.
I just got halfway through and then put it down for a while. And when I went back to it, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And I said, well, I'm not playing the first half of the
Yeah.
game again.
It's like half of my game collection. Go back in. I don't want to restart it, but I don't know where I am right now.
Yeah.
Back on the shelf.
Sometimes that happens. I'm trying to
So,
get better at that.
I'm
But
gonna
we
speak-
don't.
I'm gonna speak
Definition
to
of a
this
level
real
30
quick.
gamer.
Yeah. go ahead.
So the Paper Mario rumor comes from the same people that mentioned the 2D Metroid. One quote from them, 2 quotes, I'm sorry, is that they said return to form. So anybody who's a fan of the Paper Mario series knows that means going back to like Thousand Year Door RPG style and not all these random things they've done with the newer games. And they also said not a remake.
Okay.
So
well,
if this is true
So it
and
might
these
be a
sources are
new
credible,
title?
yeah.
all right, which is good because the last Paper Mario for Wii U was not a very good game. I mean, it looked great.
Visually, it
and,
looks
and
very
the
nice.
writing was sharp. The writing is sharp in all of them. I'm wondering if there's a connection here,
Between
and
Metroid and Paper Mario.
No, I think
love
I know
it.
where he's
Oh.
going.
and Nintendo's refiling for the Mario and Luigi trademark.
That developer's done, I
The
think.
developer went under,
Mhm.
so I'm wondering if there's some kind of connection there that maybe it's going to be a Mario and Luigi style game, but with the Paper Mario brand and IP applied.
Hmm.
But Luigi doesn't get to be paper.
He would probably be okay with that because Luigi just rolls with the punches. Because I feel like those games are very similar in style. It's just the aesthetic is a little different, but the gameplay is very similar. I think that could be a cool thing. We'll see. We don't know what's coming from there, but really great franchise if you're able to play any of the older games. That would be fun. So a few more random rumors in the rumor mill. A couple ports on the way. BioShock Collection, Saints Row 4, and the Metro Collection were all leaked.
Well, they got some kind of rating.
They got a rating. Metro Collection was formally announced with a trailer and a release date. I believe it's the end of February.
Okay.
But it's the first game in the series. It's not the second or the newer one on Xbox and PlayStation.
The fact that those got ratings makes me also feel a direct's coming soon.
Well,
because I'm like, that would be when to announce these things.
Right. And so that's why we kind of hung on doing this episode because we saw these things going through and the placeholders in Amazon and the SKU list from GameStop. And we're like,
oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, something's coming and nothing ever came, or at least it's not coming yet. And I wouldn't put it past Nintendo for them to just go, all right, well, wait till everyone gives up hope and then we'll announce something, which is probably fine. So at least one of those games got formally announced. Nintendo patented a stylus attachment for the Joy-Con, which slides on like the rail.
Yeah.
And it's got like a little nub on it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to imagine this is something related to Brain Age.
Or Animal Crossing. Can't
Or
you
Animal
manipulate
Crossing.
things in that game? Like move
yeah,
furniture
you
around? I don't play Animal Crossing.
Neither do I.
Oh, really? Oh, you guys are missing out on what is arguably
I don't have the
the
time
most
for that
boring,
game.
lame game ever. I love it so
My
much.
cousins love that game.
I mean, yeah, it's
Like
one
hundreds
the few
of
games-
hours.
Right.
I had a bad experience with the first one and just never went back.
Oh, you
I'm just going to sum it up in one word. Blockbuster.
Oh, well, that's fair.
yeah.
That's fair. They're not around anymore, Joe. You don't have to fear them.
There is one. But anyway.
Kevin, this is a game that I might have to buy digitally because of the amount of time I will be in it for like 15 to 20 minutes at a time and then bounce back out. Yeah, so you can do like you can create custom clothing and stuff like that. So that might be used for that, which could be kind of exciting. But Nintendo also patents weird hardware things
All the time.
and some of them never see the light of day.
Yep.
And pretty much everybody does. Like, you can't rely on like a patent or anything like that to say like, oh, this is something that's coming, because if you really look at all the patents that are out there, there's some that don't even make sense, that are just out there that don't mean anything. And
Like the Joy-Con that
exactly, yeah, that folds
folding
down at the
part?
top. Yeah,
I was like,
I
what
don't think
the
that's
heck
ever
is
gonna
that?
actually happen. The point is, they're saying like, this is something we're thinking about. This is something we might want to do. We don't want somebody else to do it. And realistically, we can use parts of this patent towards something else, but we're claiming it before anybody else does.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, I guess, my connection, only because we know that in the European or Japanese version release of Brain Age, they're saying it's going to be packaged with a stylus.
Like a full plastic one?
Yeah. So I'm wondering if this is what they mean by that. I don't know. We'll see. But I guess that game's coming. And then I read this today, actually, not more than a few hours ago. But I did some research, and I don't know if it holds any weight. Kevin, there's a report out there that the sixth fighter...
Like it was like Kevin.
Oh, no, that was kind of weird. I apologize. The sixth fighter for Smash Brothers is going to be Crash Bandicoot.
Tom, where did you read this?
Well, so here's the thing. It was posted...
My hopes and dreams.
Because
that's where you read
people
it. That is
have
awesome.
been...
Well, and this is where
one that had been brought up in, like,
left
last
it
month.
in as a talking point, but I didn't want to harp on it too much. So it was reported on, I read it on Nintendo Soup, which tweeted it out, and the clickbait for it, which was super enticing,
They gotcha.
was, person that predicted or leaked Blythe for Smash Brothers is saying Crash Bandicoot is coming as character
Somebody
6.
predicted slash
And so
leaked,
so I read into it and I tracked this person down on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure it's just some dude who in October of last year said Blythe's coming to Smash Brothers. And then people look back at that as, oh my God, this guy's got
Yeah.
I don't think there's any weight to it.
Because there's so many characters that get brought up. It's like, oh, they got to be coming. It could honestly like nobody knows except for a few people.
No, but let's
and it
get
could be anybody.
Let's get into that Smash Direct then. So we are getting another Fire Emblem character, much to everyone's delight and joy.
I thought the character looks cool.
You
And
never
I didn't
played
even play
Three
Fire Emblem.
Houses?
Nope.
Oh,
Just the way that character plays, I thought it was really cool.
Well, so the play style is one thing, and I do think it looks rather cool. Have you played Three Houses,
No.
Joe? No.
No, you were
Tom,
supposed to
have
lend it
you
to me
played
and
Three
didn't.
Houses? We know you did.
completed
You
Three
love that
Houses.
game.
It was my number 2 game of the year, or number 1 game of the year. Sorry. There are a lot of characters in Fire Emblem. Some of them very unique. And they chose like the most bland, basic-looking character that also looks like every other Fire Emblem character in Smash Brothers already. Why? You know?
Sakurai loves Fire Emblem. Like that's a known fact.
Well, I think I think this is definitely the tipping point in Fire Emblem saturation, as between the mobile game and then Three Houses, people were clamoring for Fire Emblem content, which is great because it was a series that was that was huge in Japan and was kind of on the brink of Nintendo finally said, listen, we'll put another one out in America or North America, but if it doesn't do well, we got to stop pushing this over there. And the 3DS version did so well that it kind of rejuvenated that franchise here.
Well, I remember most people didn't know what Fire Emblem was in this country until Melee, Smash Melee, because Martha and Roy were in there.
Martha and Roy were in it, right?
And that was like
Even
their
then,
first
like people
introduction.
knew, like, oh, they're from Fire Emblem. What's that? I don't know. It's just some game.
Kevin, being the resident Smash person, if you just give me your initial, on a scale of 1 to 10, your initial level of disappointment in the reveal of
I was not
Goliath.
disappointed at all, and I'll tell you why. The rumors were pointing like heavily that Dante from Devil May Cry was going to be that character announced, and I was like, I don't care about Dante. No offense to anybody if you do, but I was just like, I don't want Dante. Still
just
could
gonna
be
make this
coming in
guess
Fighter
now.
Pass 2. What?
I was going to say, I'm just going to make this guess now. If they do put Dante in, he's just going to be a clone of Bayonetta.
That's
saying
what
it.
I was
He's
thinking.
just going to be
He's gonna be
Bayonetta.
very similar to Bayonetta. But anyway, we don't know. I mean, I thought that Direct was cool. The way the character plays is really cool. The fact that they made a joke about there being too many anime sword fighters in the Direct, if you caught that, I thought that was kind of funny.
was
Should
kinda-
be
That's a
self-aware,
complaint.
but not doing anything about it.
Also, did you?
Yes, I get some people are complaining because it's another Fire Emblem character, but they seem like they play very differently than the other Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah,
Violet
they
does.
made mention of saying that she's or he's there.
He and she,
It's a
there's
heavy
two.
character, right?
Yeah. Some of the things you could do too, like as you start a move, you could turn around and just it was
Yeah,
neat.
yeah, it's kind of unique. Did you? So I made a comment about this the first time we had one of these like Sakurai directs. That it was like he was personable and he was approachable and kind of
Yeah.
cute, and there were like people laughing off camera. I feel like that was canned laughter now. I think they're adding that. Like it definitely
No, I don't
sounded
think so.
weird to me.
They're definitely. I mean, you know better the sounds in a studio than I do, but
Listen again.
He's
those
definitely
laughs
there
end
filming.
very abruptly at the end, and I'm like,
Well,
are they faking
they're
bad
also-
canned laughter?
Maybe they were
different
real
culture,
people, but
I
they
don't
were
know.
like, laugh, stop.
yeah. Did you catch when he said when he recorded that? It was in November.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was
There
like,
might have
wow.
been some big changes even.
Can I talk about the thing that I thought was really awesome in
Go
this
for it.
direct?
Please do.
Cuphead as a Mii costume.
Yeah, but
That
like,
was really cool.
kind of a less of a me costume and more of a almost like a character. Like they really,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like a me character.
No, it's gonna play like a Mii fighter, a Mii gunner.
Yeah. Okay.
But like it looks so cool that it just looks like Cuphead.
yeah, that might
and
be the
not
one.
like a lazy way of adding a character, though. Like, yeah, here's a skin. Go crazy,
kind of.
guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you're asking for permission to use it, like, what's the reason why you wouldn't just make Cuphead an actual character, unless you
full-fledged character.
you extrapolate? Okay, this is Cuphead's an option, and this is what his moveset would be, and you kind of go, okay, that's not terribly interesting. Maybe we don't want to have this character in there. So they hit the shelf, but people know, or they know that they would like to play as Cuphead, so he's a skin. I have
Yeah.
no idea what that process is like, but they did make a mention of saying that Fighter Pass 2 is coming out. They release through December of 21.
Yeah.
So these are going to be doled out slowly over the next 2 years, which is fine. But they made a mention of saying that they've already determined the list of characters that they're using.
They said the same thing for this Fighter Pass.
Did they?
Yep.
Okay.
And it was said that Nintendo made the decision, not Sakurai himself. But I'm sure he had some. I would think he had some say in
I
it. But
think they owe him everything. that
Honestly,
guy puts his heart and soul.
oh
and
my gosh,
blood
he
and
does.
sweat and tears into this. So
Thank goodness for him.
I don't know. I'm hoping that stops the clamor of, give me this, give me that. I
People are still gonna ask.
I know,
'Cause they
and
did-
It bugs me the ungratefulness.
Yeah,
that we
I agree.
hear when people are like, "Oh, a Fire Emblem character. Well, this game sucks now."
Like you didn't have to buy it.
There's 80 other people to choose from. Like,
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot.
give Joe Crash or
and
he
give everybody
wants.
Geno. The people who want Geno, give them Geno.
Isn't there a Geno costume?
There was in Smash Wii U. It has not come to this game yet, if I recall correctly, which is a lot of people
Square
point
Enix
to.
has said something about Nintendo this week as well.
What?
So I think, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's not the only direct we got. We also got.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, God.
Real quick, because you
I
missed
was
this point.
segueing.
You missed this point. Segue after. So,
segue after.
the Fighters Pass, it is confirmed that it'll be treated the same way as Fighter Pass 1, where each fighter will get their own stage, new music, a new spirit board, and a classic mode route.
Okay.
Some people thought it was just going to be a fighter. But
No, it's normally a fighter stage and music.
Yeah,
right?
but they verified that on their press website or whatever for it.
Which is cool because the Fire Emblem music is awesome. So that's going to be really cool to
Okay, segue away.
really cool to smash too.
Yeah, Smash Brothers. Yay.
So that wasn't the only direct we got. We also had a Pokemon direct. Joe, we have to not talk to Kevin for a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm just going to sit and observe.
Kevin's going to take a nap.
Can I say real quick, though, that direct made me want to get this game now.
It did a lot of cool stuff.
I'll lend it to
for
you
the
if you
game.
lend me the Metroid game that comes out.
I don't want to play it that bad.
Okay. There you
Harsh.
go.
Metroid
All right.
first.
Opening up the.
So Joe, tell us a little bit about this this Pokemon direct.
You ask me like I know.
Oh my
Kidding.
gosh.
No,
Joe.
they
Joe, go
announced
home.
they announced two DLCs, two that are coming out at different times, and it looks like two like extra storylines that are going along. So
and
you're gonna-
regions of
yeah, two
Sub-regions.
islands, I think. What they're called, the Isle of Armor
Yes.
and the Crown Tundra.
Yes.
So they're two, but they focus on an extra storyline rather than like, oh, here's another area and there's like a gym that you can go beat or
Right,
something
you're
like
gonna
that.
have a new rival. There's a new gym. There's gonna be new.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
there seems to be some stuff that you can actually do here, and then it looks like they're adding a decent amount of Pokemon back that you can take into the base game, and it looks like from the way it sounded, they're going to do an update where those Pokemon will be compatible with the base game, even if you don't have the expansion. So you can
So you
probably
can trade them with people that.
yeah.
Okay.
Which I think is not that I think that Nintendo was doing this because their hand was forced, but I think that would have to happen no matter what. Because what would happen if somebody had one of these and wanted to, you wanted to go play with them, the game's just going to crash or not know how to handle it. Let's just make it work. Make it so people can trade these. So, and I think that might push off some people who were just like, oh, well, I'll just trade with somebody else who has the game. But overall, I think a lot of people are probably just going to come in and just go, well, now I can go here and I can catch my Bulbasaur or my Horsey or my Marill or something
Horsey's
like that.
there?
Yeah, they're adding Horsey back. So they are splitting up the
Horsey
amount of
fan.
Pokemon that you get back between the two games.
Which is
So-
fine. I think they're smart in doing so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they look like sizable chunks. The price point isn't off. It's $30 for both of them.
Yeah, it's $30 for the pass. So you'll get the one when it comes out and the second one when it comes out
So
later
Isle of
on.
Armor comes out in June. Isle of Armor, I said that right? Yes.
Yeah.
That comes
Yes.
out in June. And it's got right on point with the calendar. It's got a very tropical, beachy type theme to it.
Yep.
Whereas the Crown Tundra is scheduled for fall winter. They don't have a specific date yet, or a specific month at least. It's more of the Arctic tundra type thing, which is less my aesthetic. Like, so I'm glad it's coming second, but like I just getting to the end of Pokemon 8 and the last area was like a lot of snow, and it just aesthetically it's not interesting to look at. So like I'm kind of bummed.
I hate that area too. So like I really hope it's not like I hope Crown Tundra isn't like that, because just going into every single match and going, okay, it's hailing, I'm gonna get pummeled at the end of every single turn. All right,
It's
the match is
irritating
over.
for a
I
few
lived.
reasons. Mainly, if you're trying to catch Pokemon and they keep getting their little health chipped away, and all of a sudden they're killed by hail because they broke out of a Pokeball 7 times.
Yeah.
Really obnoxious.
Yep.
On top of which, it slows down the fight or battle animation because it needs to tell you every single time that each character got hit by hail. If there's one thing that they need to add that Fire Emblem had, Dragon Quest had, it's the ability to skip through some of these, or at least fast forward some of these battle
Yeah,
animations.
you can't even like mash A to go past it because
I
there's
still
just
do.
Oh yeah, I do too every single time. But there's no like prompts like to press A. It's just there for 3.5 seconds or whatever, and then it goes to the next one. Like, please just let me skip this, or just do it in a way where it doesn't stop the entire flow of the gameplay.
Right.
That's always been. I mean, I think we've talked about this. That's always been my gripe with RPGs. There's such a breakup in the gameplay. When you start a battle, everything freezes. Battle animation plays. Battle starts. We talk about the status effects and things that go back and forth, and then you get to battle. Then we talk about the status effects, and then there's the animation when you come out of it. Then you get back into the field, and you're like disoriented when you go in and out. And there's just too much breakup in gameplay. And some of the games have made big strides in that. And this was
but
obviously
Pokemon hasn't. That's the one gripe I would say is a little dated in this. Is that respect my time. Let me get through this a little bit quicker. For the 9th Diglett that I've run into accidentally in a row, I don't want to see the same thing. I know the sun is harsh. You don't need to tell me.
Yeah, honestly, I would love if they did Pokemon in the. Have either of you guys played Chrono Trigger?
Yes.
Okay, I have not, and I know I need to. We talked about it on
Oh my
podcast.
god, you need to. Okay, so they should do a battle system like that. I mean, it might end up being a different kind of game, but like you see a Pokemon, you touch it, and everybody spreads out into battle formation. So like your guy can take a step back and throw his Pokemon out right on the overworld, and you can fight like that. And then once the battle's over, like you see him throw a Pokeball. Once the battle's over, you do your victory animations, and you keep walking. You never leave the overworld. It's just way less jarring to me, and I think especially even in Pokemon, it would look really, really cool to work that way instead of going into a battle, especially too because a lot of people complain the backgrounds in the battles don't always match up with where you are.
But I think that's common. And I mean, how many backgrounds are you really going to make for
no, absolutely. But it's a little
per region?
It's just an aesthetic thing, but it's a little jarring, and I think we're far along enough in the series where they can fix these little things. And there were a lot of like quality of life enhancements in this game. I will give it that. They did a lot of things that we either should have had a long time ago or things that people were asking for. Now you can just press a button and go right into your Pokeball menu. That is awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, or having to not go to the box, to the PC to get a Pokemon from a box.
You can just do it right on the overworld. Yeah. So it's really, really cool. And when you catch somebody, if your party is full, you have the option to switch them out with somebody.
Right on the spot.
And send your other guy to the box, which is really cool. So it's stuff like that. So there's no reason for me to wait 20 seconds after a battle starts before I can, select my first attack.
Right. So the thing that caught my eye on this is that I was kind of like, oh, this is cool. That's great. Was that they're saying it's going to have more of the freeform camera that's akin to the wild area than the traditional follow the path. And, which I think is great. Like that actually made me like physically, my body was like, oh, like I perked up and was like, now I'm a little bit more intrigued because it is a really like, we kind of take it for granted, but being in that area is really nice to just be able to move that camera around the character.
I find myself all the time like walking around and going to move the camera. Nope, not the wild. And I've only been in the wild area like 3 times. Like I didn't spend a lot of time there.
I didn't like it there initially, but you get to different parts of it, and then it's like you're like, oh, okay, here's the real Pokemon. Yeah. This is cool. So the big thing with this is that Pokemon has traditionally always done this kind of weird phantom third version of the game, or like re-releasing of
you've red, blue, and then you had yellow.
Right?
Yeah.
So you had Sun, you had Moon, and then you had
then
Ultra Sun and Moon, which were
Those
the
are
same.
different.
No, they were different.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Those were different games in the same like universe
location.
Yeah.
But that's what it's still the same.
But yellow was the same as red and blue with a tiny twist on it.
And Crystal
was the same game, just with a little twist on it. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are, I think, they're not sequels, but in a sense they are.
But it's the same world, it's the same characters and everything, right?
No, it doesn't follow the same story.
No, the
and the same
story's
path.
different.
Well, I misspoke, and I apologize.
I didn't even play them. I know that.
didn't play
It's
them.
kind of like
either.
having there was Black 2 and White 2.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing.
Oh, all right.
But what they're doing instead now
is DLC, and do you think that a lot of people were angry about that for some reason?
Really?
As opposed,
I think it's fantastic.
I think it's
we'd
great.
rather pay $60 for a full version of this game, whatever.
Yeah.
I think this is a great alternative, and I think it's a way to.
And it's just maybe this is silly, but it's modern. Like this is the way. Like this is the way we do games now. Like we put out our base game and we put out DLC, and a lot of people complain like, oh, why didn't they just put this in the base game? But if the idea of DLC didn't exist, it doesn't guarantee that the DLC that they made would have been part of the base game. It might never exist.
Yeah.
I think
Now they're just saying, hey, here's $30 because we decided to expand on this game that we really love because we have the avenue to do it now. You guys can download it and add more onto this game. I think it's a good thing as long as they're not like attacking you for more money and saying like,
Yeah, well, and I
here's
think
45 minutes worth of gameplay, but it's an extra $60, or here's half the price of a new game. Here's 2 whole regions, more Pokemon, more story, so that you can get more out of your entire game and your base game.
right, and I think that's the issue. It's the misconception, right? Because everyone, when they're like, "Here's our game, and it's coming out then, and we've got DLC planned," and the initial reaction is DLC is just content you didn't put in the game initially to charge us for it later, and that's what the perception is on this. Is that well, you could have put this in the game, but you opted not to, and with the whole Pokedex thing going on, it's an easy way to or an easy avenue to jump on them. But in reality, if they said nothing and then came out with Isle of whatever and Tundra thing in a year from now and said it's going to be a separate release and you can buy a separate copy and it's $59.99, people would have been like, "Oh, we're getting like a semi-sequel. This is great." I think this is a much better way to go.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize when games come out is that the developers aren't working on the game up until the day it comes out.
Right.
They're working on the
Right.
game, they stop months before, but the game itself is like
Sometime month before.
sometimes, but the idea of the game and everything you're doing
Oh,
for
yeah,
it
yeah.
is months and months
Yeah,
in
yeah,
advance. So you get to a point and you say, this very day, we're not adding anything else. If you have any ideas or something that you want to do for the game and you come up with that idea a day after, it's not going in the game.
Right.
That's why it ends up in the DLC.
Right.
That's why it ends up in the sequel. And it's the same with any sort of software development. You have a day that you cut it off. Otherwise, you expand too far and the game's
Or the
never
game
gonna
never
come
comes out.
Right.
Exactly. So now we're saying, okay, hey, anything after this date goes into the DLC. So as they're finishing up one game, they're starting the DLC and working on both at the same time. Then, the first one comes out and they finish the DLC and release that. It's the way it's planned. I mean,
Sure, and
just
it
speak to a project manager.
and it eases production too, right? Because when the DLC is mapped out but not made yet, you might not need the full team to make that, and so it allows the studio to say, okay, if you worked on the first part of this game for 9 months, take 3 weeks off, and you're going to come back and you're going to start brainstorming, Sword and Shield 2, while some of the staff will go on to do DLC and then slowly get pulled from that and worked back into the next cycle. So like it's a good way to really manage people, and make
exactly.
sure your resources aren't spread too thin. And it's a good opportunity for people that might be new to the company to work on something smaller and not have the weight of, holy crap, I'm contributing to a Pokemon game. No, you're contributing to a Pokemon in a DLC in a version of a Pokemon game. That might be a good way to kind of wet some feet with developers. I don't know much about that, but that would be my logic from you can't have everyone working on everything all the time. You got to like rotate and work in this cycle. So that would make sense. It's become a footnote at this point, but Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is getting remade as well. They made sure to talk about that to open their direct.
I didn't know too much about it, and I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but it seems pretty beloved by people. And it's so funny because like the day before this whole announcement, Reddit and websites and everything were blowing up, and people were like, "Well, you know what we're not getting? A new Mystery Dungeon game." And then that happened. They were like, "Well, that's good enough. I'll take it."
But it's a remake, right?
yeah,
Okay.
but it's
Looks
both games
very pretty,
on
like,
one
Red and blue.
kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Well,
it's
no,
like
but that's what they're
called,
called. They're Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red and Mystery Dungeon Blue, right?
Were they?
There was 2 titles. I don't remember their
Archives. I
names.
think they
though.
were. I think they used this same thing. I remember the
Interesting.
covers being.
Oh, look it up. Hold on.
He's doing it. So a lot of good Pokemon news there. I think all of that is good for everyone. I just think people need to
Red
stop.
Rescue Team, Blue Rescue Team.
Okay. I think people need to stop bitching about stuff that is. It's a product. They're trying to make money. I understand that, but they've been good about getting things back to their fan base that spends this money on all
Yeah,
their
of
stuff
course.
because the franchise does incredibly well all the time. So it's not as if people aren't going to buy it. I don't know. Stop complaining.
I think it's a good idea to be skeptical of companies and corporations, and we're not going to go into my conspiracy theory on that. But I do think it's always a good idea to be like that. But at the same time, not every company is looking to screw you 100% as much as they can all the time. Yeah, they want to get as much money out of you as they can. Absolutely.
Sure.
Games should be cheaper. Games could be cheaper. But the point is, they are still providing something for us that we want. and we're going to pay them for it.
Right.
So you don't have to say like, oh, well, they're charging money, they're bad. They wouldn't exist and they couldn't put out another game if they weren't doing that. And that's what it is.
And I bought my first full price game in like 4 years the other day because my gamers
And you were
club
so excited about that, you have told everyone.
Yeah.
it was almost surreal. They're like $64.19. I was like, wait, what? That's like
Games cost that much?
that's almost $100. What are you doing? I've been very good at being able to always have like coups or reward points or something where I'm like, but that one hurt.
A side note, did you say Coops?
Coups.
You did, but you love that game.
What game are you talking about?
Coops?
Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Can't talk. Sharp FE.
Encore. I was going to say, did you
Encore.
get the whole title? It's the worst name in the history
weird.
of games. Well, reviews coming. We'll talk about it in a little bit. All right, 2020 releases, things that we know we've got concrete at least months for or times of the year for.
This is why I need this out, right?
No, keep that out because you're going to help feed me. I picked some of the more popular ones. Like there's a game on that list coming out in February. What's that called?
This one?
Yeah.
Snack World, the Dungeon Crawl Gold.
Yeah.
No idea what that is.
No, either do I. But apparently
So,
it's worth
We're
Really
just
quick-
talking about the worst name?
If anybody,
That's not a great one.
No, it's
if
not
anybody's
great, but
wondering what I'm referencing, Nintendo put out their
infographic.
2020 roadmap release date visual infographic. Yeah.
Maybe that's why. I just
Some
wanted to
notable
impact-
things on there, but you know what's missing on here? Lots of first party games, which is why there's a direct coming soon.
And that's not saying we're not grateful for the
Oh no,
third-party
this
support.
is great. Oh yeah, we love the third party
but-
support. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And indie support, that eShop, get Ori and the Blind Forest, definitive
Sorry,
edition.
Kevin, you're
Joe.
not on camera.
It's okay. I don't
Did
need
you
to be on
buy it
camera.
for me?
Or in the Blind Forest?
No.
It's on Game Pass.
Really?
Or play it. Yeah, do
But I
play
don't
that.
have Game Pass.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
Oh my god.
No, we
Get the game.
bought it to play Borderlands. It both ran out, and then we didn't play Borderlands anymore.
We played Borderlands that one time.
We played Borderlands a couple times.
Hey, so 2020 releases.
We'll play.
Maybe it was
We'll
only
play
12.
when it comes out on the Switch.
Okay, I'm in.
There you go.
All right, so
Perfect.
notable 2020 releases. Kevin, please fill in the blanks with anything that you think is more notable
my
than what I
gosh.
took out of that because the SpongeBob game did not seem to cross.
I'm sorry,
my-
the what game now?
SpongeBob?
SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
No.
I was gonna say that's
no.
that's a
Stop
redo,
putting
right?
puns
Remake.
on remastered.
Oh my gosh.
It's-
Anyway, it's better than
hate it.
saying remastered or HD or whatever.
How about Red Fraction Remastered because the game takes place on Mars. That's the official name of that game.
That's
First
weird.
of all, it's Red Faction.
I said faction.
You said fraction.
I think I said faction.
Okay, that's fine. Good thing this is recorded.
Oh my
Yeah, we
God.
have no reference.
Joe's gonna go back and
I'm
look.
leaving it out. No, it's gone.
Second of all, you're right. That is absolutely terrible.
yeah,
That's horrible.
That's
Mars,
like, oh, let's get this. Like, when you have a groaner when you pick up the game and look at the cover, I own it, by the way.
For SpongeBob, it makes sense. He's a sponge.
There's no movie
rehydrate.
coming out. You never
It
know.
doesn't
There
mean
is.
No,
Do
I
it
know
anyway.
it makes sense. It doesn't mean it should be done.
All right. Anyway.
All right. So the big one for me, and I'm glad it's in the beginning of the year, is Animal Crossing. I know you guys said you've never. Well, you've played them, Joe. But Kevin,
Yeah.
you've never played it, or you just haven't.
No, I've
been
never
into
played.
It?
It doesn't interest me personally.
So is
I
this
also
a game
am
you're going to
tired of
even
getting
like?
the crap beat out of me by Villager in Super Smash Brothers.
The Killager, you mean?
I loved
It's
Villager. He
just
was my
so
main
over
when
it.
that game first came out.
Well, even you played as Villager when we played over the summer once on 3DS.
Oh yeah, we used
took-
to play on lunch break.
We took a break and we played it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm Cloud." I went online playing as Cloud, and I'm not good at that game, but I win playing online. And you played as Villager, and just you
got really good with
demoralized me. I don't think I've played the game since. You demolished me. I was like, but he's Villager.
You don't need to play
He's
the
like
game. Ultimate's
this
out.
he's the little like cookie cutout. I'm Cloud. My sword is bigger than your body. Nope. Dead.
Yeah, but I can
it's a sharp bat at that, or like a paddle at that point. Nope. Dead.
Yeah, but I can hit you with a whole tree. Trees are better than swords. Well, they're bigger than swords. I
Anyway.
wouldn't say they're better than swords.
Depends on the
So
tree.
Kevin, is this as any of this so far from what we've seen, like raised an eyebrow where you go, okay, maybe this is the release that gets me interested in Animal Crossing?
I'm not gonna play the game.
No,
It's just not my style. It's not a
Hard
type
pass?
of game I'm into. It looks great, and my cousins cannot wait for that game. Like they're day one. It's just not a type of game
it's
that
actually
I play.
it's
I guarantee. I bet if I played it, I would enjoy it. But I have other games that I need to play and finish. And
well, that's the beauty of Animal Crossing is that you would play for 20
that would
minutes
drive
and then that's
me
it.
insane though, because I'm a completionist and
No,
I
well,
need
there's a lot
games
to
I need
find and
finish.
complete.
Isn't the first 20 minutes just reading your mail?
No,
What?
the
Because
first,
I could just go to work for that. And it scales, though. It scales. It's the first 3.5
How about
hours.
reading group messages
Oh.
Or responding to them. or responding to them.
or saying anything in?
Just saying, Joe.
We're calling out Joe live.
I have no idea what
on
you
the
guys are talking
podcast. No,
about.
of course he doesn't.
Yeah, during the
maybe-
show.
maybe if we had a
it's
group
just me
chat.
and Tom talking to each other in a group chat, and you never answer.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's usually you two.
You're talking into the side of the.
I don't know what you're talking about. Again, usually it's you two going back and forth, but every once in a while, it's just me and him going back and forth.
This is true. Yes, I'm the constant.
That's true.
We've never all been in the group. Well, every so often.
Every so
I
often.
jumped in the other day and I sent 3 messages and went, I don't have time for this.
You don't have time for us, Kevin.
When there's a Nintendo Direct and I get all excited and text you guys, you better answer, Joe. Just saying.
I'll be in the middle of teaching, and
Well,
Kevin's just
there
like
needs to be a
shunning
direct
his
for that.
students.
I would never. I would tell them there's a Direct.
We're gonna
They
stop
get
our
excited.
lesson
Watching
for 20
it.
minutes. Yeah.
I'd be like, special
Joe,
announcement.
as
is
someone
direct.
who gave up on Animal Crossing, do you think you're coming back?
No.
Do you think your girlfriend would come back? Like, is this game that she would like? I know it does very well with women, and I'm just curious if she's interested in it at all.
I don't think so. She actually, she has an Animal Crossing game on the shelf.
Because Ada's been counting down the days.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know she was
The
an
thing
Animal
is,
Crossing fan.
with her, it's that she will get really excited for a video game, absolutely excited, and then play it once, maybe twice, and then just never go back to it. And she'll love the game, but she'll never go back to it. It's just, it doesn't, like, the idea of the video game grabs her more than the game itself.
Interesting.
She did put a decent amount of hours into Let's Go Eevee. I'll give her that. She went to it pretty often, but sometimes I'll be like, hey, do you want to sit down and play Pokemon? Like, I'll watch you play. I'll play along with you. I'm like her Pokedex. Like, what is good against this? And I'll just like rattle off weaknesses to her. Like,
Yeah.
just throw out this one, use this move, you'll be fine. And we play like that.
Okay.
And then I'll sit down and go, I'll grab the controllers and put it down in front of her. Nah, not really. Like, are you just going to lay down on the couch and watch TV? And yeah, probably. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
you could be playing a game. So I don't think it's going to grab her enough especially because Animal Crossing is a game that you do need to put a lot of hours into. You know, like it's a long.
Well, it's
Isn't it like Second Life,
it's
but
a
for
slow
animals?
burn. Well, yeah, it's adorable animals. Yeah, it definitely has that. Like, you can play it for 20 minutes a day, every day for like a year, and probably do just as much as the person that plays it 3 hours a day every day for a year. It, like, some people just enjoy doing really little like minute things in this game. I'm excited for it it won't take up a lot of my time at once. It'll just take up a lot of time
Over a
slowly
span
over
of
the course
time.
of, honestly, however long the Switch lasts. Because, I mean, it's...
And you'll just transfer your data to that Switch Pro, and you'll have it on there.
if it supports cloud saves, because Animal Crossing is probably a weird
Oh,
game.
that's
that might
right.
not. I don't know.
A lot of games don't.
Every
have
game should support. Oh, that's a whole other topic.
I agree. I think every single game, there's no good reason for it to not support cloud saves. But being as it's not very it's not multiplayer, right? Is
Well,
there
no,
multi-
but it's more about like you can kind of cheat and do time. They call it time travel, where like you change the internal clock of your system, and
Oh,
like,
you can do that
jump
without
to a
cloud
holiday.
saves.
Oh, I know, but like
point is, do they have a concern about save scrubbing? Because
Probably.
that was their
Yes.
excuse for not including it in Splatoon.
Yes,
which I think is a dumb idea. But that was their excuse. So
see.
can you have that? Will they have that concern with Animal Crossing? And the bigger concern is, who cares if you cheated a single player game? You're only cheating yourself.
Yeah.
But if you cheat and affect other people is when the problem comes in. So they might.
Well, I don't know. They've
include
been a
it-
little quiet on some of the multiplayer components, so we'll see what that actually looks like. I feel like they're going to do something a little different with the multiplayer this time around, which could be cool. All right, so like we're kind of all across the board here. We got a hard no, we got a probably not, and then a definitely. So interesting.
Tom's reviewing Animal Crossing.
I'll have Ada review Animal
Oh,
Crossing.
yeah, that's
Let's
right.
do that. Get her to
That's a
review.
good
the game.
idea.
It's a good idea.
I think we've all agreed. Ada, if you're watching and listening, congratulations
You're
on your
reviewing
new
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing
New
review.
Horizons.
If you're not watching and listening, what the hell, man?
You're letting the team down.
Oh, gosh.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Release calendar.
Darksiders Genesis is a game that's coming out, and I threw it on there because I feel like Darksiders keeps getting releases somehow, and I never hear anyone ever talk about or playing these games.
When it first came out, I worked at GameStop at the time. People made like I don't know why
It's
that's
like a
relevant. but
Zelda-esque
yeah, people said that, and it was like, cool.
tie.
I love a non-Zelda game. Like that would be awesome. That's right up my alley. And ignored it, and then it went on sale on Steam, and I picked it up, and I played it once for 20 minutes, maybe 30, And it was like, this is fun, but it's nowhere near Zelda. Like, it doesn't feel like it at all, doesn't play like it, and it's very clunky. So I put it down. I came back to it a couple months later, and it was like, this is still really clunky, and I still don't know where to go. I could be playing a game where I do know where to go, and I closed it and played anything else, and it didn't grab me the way everybody said that it would.
Can I run through this since I have it up here?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So Darksiders Genesis is February 14th. Devil May Cry is February 20th. I haven't played Devil May Cry.
I'm good. I played it on PlayStation. I'm trying to make a
could live
point
with
to
that.
not play PlayStation 2 games because I got burned in Final Fantasy, and I just know Devil May Cry I'm going to be angry with.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX is March 6th. Animal Crossing is March 20th.
Yeah.
Trials of Mana is April 24th, which I may get because it looks cool.
I got the collection. I'll jump into the original because I never played it, and this is the sequel, right? That never came out stateside.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a remake of that game. The Pokemon Sword Shield expansion pass says June 2020, autumn 2020. The SpongeBob game, May 24th, and then there's a whole bunch of other things on this roadmap. The Outer Worlds is early 2020.
Good game.
The Panzer Dragoon remake is this winter, which I want to check out because I never played the original game,
I didn't either.
and I heard it was good.
Yeah, I didn't
Did we
really
talk
care
about?
for it.
Excuse me. Did we talk about Mike's prediction on that, or did you guys talk about it?
No, I don't think so.
Remember when they
I
were showing
remember
it?
vaguely.
They played a video, and we were like, "What is this?" And we all made guesses, and then Mike goes, "Panzer Dragoon," and then walks away, and we're like, "No, why would it be Panzer
Why
Dragoon?"
would it be this
and then,
20-year-old game?
Yeah, and then like the title flashes, and we're like, "What? Why? Why do you know that? And why is that true? And why? Why would anyone just give that to Mike? Damn it, universe!"
Minecraft Dungeons, April
No, but
2020.
I heard some students talking about
that
that.
it looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks neat, but I'm not gonna get it.
Is
But
it,
looks cool.
kind of like Dragon Quest Builders, but just Minecraft? Because Dragon Quest Builders is also
I thought that was already Minecraft.
know.
right. That's why I
Kind
don't
of like
know.
the Lego Minecraft sets.
It was a really. I played the first one. I put in a good chunk of time. I really liked it. I didn't play the second one, but I want to. I thought the building part was cool. I got very into the layout and look of my town, and they're like, "Welcome to the next area," and then it was gone, and I'm like, I don't want to start over. So, peace.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles remastered is summer, and then there's a bunch of things. That game, I had that in the GameCube.
I did too. That was.
I was like all hyped for it, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of.
Yeah,
I got it. It came out when I was in college, and so thankfully I had some roommates that were like.
You had Game Boy Advance.
We also
link
have
cables?
Game Boy Advances and link cables, and we would play 4-player Crystal Chronicles, and it was cool, but
that was Square
different.
throwing Nintendo a bone.
Yes,
it was.
because
Absolutely.
they didn't get the other games, so we're like, we'll give you Crystal Chronicles. So it was either going to be spectacular, the greatest Final Fantasy ever, or it was going to be worthless. And well, we know how to turn out.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Ring of Fates was also not good either.
Doom. So then there's things with no release date, but they're on this roadmap. Doom Eternal.
Yes.
Bravely Default 2.
Can we go back to Doom?
Not yet. Hold on.
Doom, but not on Switch.
I just want to go through all these. Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, Skywalker Saga, which somebody told me looks really good. The Smash Fighter Pass 2, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Hollow Knight Silksong, Deadly Redemption 2, and then I saved my favorite for last, No More Heroes 3. Because I am super hyped for that game. And I want Travis Touchdown in the Fighter Pass.
Still don't know what I
needs to
watched when I watched that trailer.
Which is the beauty of it. It's amazing.
I'm glad you have something on that list that excites you.
Oh
'cause
my
I think
gosh.
that's what I'm looking at.
So
Going like, wait,
excited.
this is what they're saying 2020 is going to look like. I'm not terribly thrilled or excited.
They're going to fill in more here. We know that.
I know, but it's just
This is what we know so far.
Yeah, but again, not that. I guess I would be most excited for Xenoblade.
I may get that.
As
I
it
never
was
played
really
it.
good. I played it on the 3DS and I got about halfway through and enjoyed it, but I didn't get that far into Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for the Switch is excellent. So this game looks really sharp. Joe, what on that list is exciting you?
Doom.
Why?
Because it looks great.
It's Doom.
I got into the 2016 version a little late. And I mean, I've always liked Doom, but it was like, it's Doom. I haven't played it in like a decade or something. And then finally bought that on sale. And it's one of the greatest shooters of like, I don't want to say of our time, but it is one of the greatest shooters within like, its time period. It's done so well. It's you have to understand what it is too. Like it's a run and gun. Like you're not.
which is why I love it.
Yeah, there's
because
no-
you don't cover, you don't really rest. It's the fluidity
So
between
You just
crazy.
bounce around and pick the
Yeah.
biggest gun you can and blow things up.
Right.
But it was fun. Like it was over the top gory, but it was to the point that like you knew it was going to be like that, and it was just funny when it did that. Like the first time you do a glory kill and like just pull a zombie's like not a zombie, a demon's like heart out and then shove it in his mouth and then it explodes. You're like,
gosh.
oh yeah, this is going to be
Yeah.
the most fun I've had in a long
that
time.
doesn't get tiring the 8,000th time you see it.
And you get these, it really doesn't. And you get these great like expansions to your weapons, and you're like, oh, I'm going to destroy everything with this. And then you don't. Like the game still has its difficulty that way. And then there's like a cutscene where, you know, like the cyber demon walks out and you're like, I'm screwed. And like there was one bad thing about the game, and it was that the final boss was like really easy. But that doesn't ruin the game. Like I got through the whole game and it was awesome. So
Right.
the first trailer for Doom Eternal looked awesome, and then they did like half an hour of gameplay, and I actually wasn't all that thrilled about it. Just the way it looked, it just didn't look right to me. But they stayed in one area for most of it, and I think I just didn't like the area that they were in because they've shown trailers with a little bit of gameplay since
Joe,
then.
have you seen the new trailer that was like released yesterday?
Is it the trailer or the 10 minutes of gameplay that IGN did?
I think it's a story trailer.
It wasn't released yesterday then.
It was like very
was-
recent.
It was about a week ago, maybe. And
Week
yeah, I
ago?
watched it like 4 times. I watched it at my desk, Mike's desk, Joe's desk, and then at my desk again. It was really,
all
really
on your lunch break, right?
yeah, yes. It looked really good though. It looked exceptional. I'm back to being excited.
Now,
for
did
it.
you watch? So, what system are you getting the game on? PC.
Probably PC.
I'll probably
Yeah.
get on the PlayStation 4. If I do, I might actually end up passing on it. But
I mean, having it on Switch would be cool because just saying it, you can play any game
Yeah.
mobile is cool. But I mean, Steam does streaming too, and on top of that, even if I were to get it on Xbox with the xCloud thing, pretty cool. It works pretty well from when I've tried it. That said, I like my keyboard and mouse. I like to be able to
Yeah.
switch to controller if I want, and I have an ultra wide monitor which gives you awesome field of view, and it's just really good for shooters. So probably PC, but I wouldn't be opposed to rebuying it further down the line if it's
well, it
good.
is coming out later than the other version, so it's not coming out day and date with everything else. And they don't have they don't have an exact time frame. They just said
This is this
expect
year.
it later. Yeah, it'll be still this year, but not the same day. Although it was delayed for other platforms too. So
Oh
Was it
yeah,
not?
because the developer
It's
handling it for
developed-
Switch is they needed to refine it or something. I read recently.
yeah,
I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what that means, but
I mean, if you look at the graphical fidelity of that game from the screenshots and stuff, it looks incredible. And there's probably a good chance that the Switch just can't handle a lot of it, and they probably have to tone
Probably.
down, tone down the resolution and some of the detail and whatnot just to make it work. But you also have to make sure. I mean, it's a first-person shooter. You need your field of view, so they have to make sure that they don't close it up so much that somebody is like just the tiniest bit off screen and just demolishing you. Because it's just, you don't have the widest field of view. But if they made The Witcher work, they'll make Doom work.
yeah. And supposedly
Yeah.
there's an update coming for The Witcher that the developers are saying, "Hey, like, hold on to your butts. This is going to be a good one." Like, so I'm like, they can get this to look good because Bloodstained finally got all its patches to make it run playably now. So we'll see. Witcher's a good
sorry,
game.
I'm looking. Nintendo's tweeting out the expansion stuff for Fire Emblem
They're
Three
announcing
Houses.
a direct right now.
I was checking.
Can you imagine?
I'd throw my computer and just say,
They'd-
cut the episode.
they'd-
We're done.
I feel like they wouldn't do it this late in the day, but yeah, never.
No,
know.
no. I usually
Honestly,
wake
just do our
It's
reactions
usually like
to it.
early afternoon.
We're gonna stay here until it's done. All right, so we're gonna press
They're
on.
having a Twitter direct, which is what they call.
Yeah, they do.
For Fire
They'll do
Emblem
that.
Three Houses,
Yeah, I might have to get that fourth house. That looks pretty cool.
which ruins the title of the
We're
game.
gonna skip some stuff on the rundown in interest of time. We can always revisit it later. It wasn't time sensitive, and that's cool. So, we're gonna New Year 2020. I made sure over winter break to put rest to a lot of games that I knew I could finish. So, like Luigi's Mansion got wrapped up. Ori and the
even
Blind
opened
Forest
Luigi's
got
Mansion.
wrapped up.
That's funny because my copy of Luigi's Mansion is still wrapped up.
Man too.
Oh, well, mine's beaten. Dragon Quest, done. I played Catherine on PS4, finished. I played a Persona 5 dance party thing, which is like
What's that?
weird fan servicey type Persona rhythm button mashing.
Oh.
And it's cool, but like, okay. So I made sure to get a lot of stuff done. Dragon Quest was excellent, though, by the way. I just have to say, when I thought I beat it, I did not. There's a third.
You
act.
raving about that is I cannot wait to play that eventually.
There's a 10-hour demo you can download.
No, I
and
bought
get
the game.
started. Oh, okay.
I have it. I just need to play it.
Game. When you get to the end, it's not the end.
Yeah, I remember
There's
you
like
said
another
that.
20 hours. It's
Oh
not
my
even like
gosh.
yeah.
Like or Untitled Goose Game. I thought I beat it and there's more.
We always need more goose.
I know.
So right now, I want to hear from you guys. What are we playing that's kind of like fresh? Which means, Joe, you can't say the same two answers. And if you need me to buy you some time, I could talk a little bit about Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It was a game I picked up last week. It was a Wii U game that they ported over.
Did they enhance it? Did they add anything?
They added like a few songs, and there's some costumes, and I think it looks a little bit sharper. I've got mixed feelings on it.
Sharp, get it?
As
It's in the
shut
title.
up. Mixed feelings on it as a whole.
What, Joe?
Really great combat system, but just there's a lot of bland other things. So a review will be out hopefully by the end of this week, if not next week. I know I'm pushing myself.
I was
this
like,
week.
really?
Well, the podcast will be up at the end of this week. We're taping on Wednesday. It'll be out Friday. Tomorrow, actually. I'll work on it tonight, I promise. So, yeah, mixed feelings. If you're on the fence, probably you listen to your gut. If you know you're all in, go for it. But my review will be out this week. Pokemon, I finished the 8th badge. I got the last little bit to do. And then I'm working in some Call of Duty multiplayer because it's a good game to play for like 20, 30 minutes and be done and feel good about. What are you guys playing?
Who's going first?
Joe, I'll go first because
Okay.
your thing is blank, like always. On the
No, but I know what I'm playing.
Oh, so then Joe, you go first.
Okay, fine. I'm still playing Pokemon. I
I thought you were going to say
Borderlands.
Solid or Borderlands. I'm still playing. Oh, God.
No, I actually haven't picked up either of those in a little while. Hey, man.
Shocked.
The intervention worked.
I've been playing Pokemon. I haven't picked it up in like a day or two, but I've been putting a decent amount of hours into it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun with it.
Where are you in the game?
I think I'm a little bit past you.
You got all the badges already.
Yeah, I've got all the badges.
I found that I liked it a lot more after that point, which is
Really?
weird. Yeah, maybe it was just it's easier for me to catch stuff now. I for whatever reason was like, all right, I think I'm over that hump, and now I'm just enjoying.
So I had to level up one of my guys, and because I needed him for a gym badge, so he was a few levels behind. So I played through and tried to level him up, which because of the way the experience works now, levels up everybody.
Right.
So I ended up being over leveled for the rest of the game, and just demolished. I ended up not even using that guy in that battle because I ended up so far over leveled by getting him up to 4 levels, pushed everybody else up so many.
You didn't use any of the
that-
XP candy?
No. I haven't used like an item other than like.
Got to use that XP candy. That's
No.
really helpful.
No, I like I said, I went
I'm
to
just saying
level
you
this
wouldn't
one
have
guy
had to
up.
grind, and then you would have had them leveled up probably pretty quickly.
Yeah, I guess, but that's just it. Like it only took like 45 minutes of me doing that to over level everyone, and then I stayed over leveled for the rest of the game. And you spoiler alert, you have to fight Chairman Rose at the end.
Oh,
And-
I wish I didn't know that.
Not at the very. You didn't get to that point. It's after the badges.
No.
Oh,
I just got the last badge and said, save, quit, bye.
I'm so sorry. You have to
So
fight Chairman
I
Rose
didn't play
and
the game, but
demolish
I
him.
figured you would have to fight that guy eventually in the
Yeah,
trailer.
I mean, you can just tell. But
I'm
I
not
like
really disappointed. I'm just kidding.
I demolished him and with only 45 minutes of grinding. So the game is it's pretty easy and it's pretty linear. And I do think that for people who are just coming into Pokemon or might have only played like the last like 2 or so, fantastic game for them to jump in on.
Cool.
People like me who have been playing, since the first Pokemon came out, gonna be a little disappointed.
Did you get your Farfetch'd?
No.
Oh.
I looked. I don't actually have it. I would have traded it.
I couldn't find the guy that you told me that you would trade for him. I haven't found him yet in my game.
Oh.
So it's okay. We're even. But eventually I'll get my Farfetch. Point is though, I've been using almost the same team since the start of the game. Like I've
I always
hardly
try and mix it up just for the sake of being.
I do, but it's worked
Different.
so well.
Yeah.
It's just been such a solid team. So, but the game's very linear and very straightforward. But oh god, is the music awesome?
Yeah, it's been pretty good at times.
Some of the towns, it's really really
I
good.
will say that's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's true.
But I've been playing Pokemon. That's that. It's been enjoyable. Not my favorite game, but it was worth the money, I guess at least.
cool.
It was also a gift. So
So
Oh,
it was
nice.
$0. Kevin, we'll come over here.
$0. Hello.
Hello.
I'm still over here.
Welcome to the podcast.
Listening to Pokemon.
Yeah.
One game that I picked up in mid to late December and played like a weekend straight. It was Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. I raved about this to Tom like crazy, I think. The art style is amazing. The music's amazing. The gameplay is amazing. The game is amazing. Joe, get the game.
And it's not overly long too.
No,
it's a
like,
game that doesn't overstay its welcome,
Right.
given the genre it falls into.
I mean, I'm not gonna say too much because I have a review coming up soon on the game. My second review. It's been a while.
in a year and a half.
Yeah, that's right.
Looking at me
busy.
like I have
I'm
control
busy.
over his
I'm busy individual. But I'm at like the 10-hour mark, and I'm at the end of the game. I think it's the end of the game. It seems like the end of the game. So
Yeah, I think you are.
I probably am. But that mostly, and then playing Smash Brothers, like always. Still need to finish Breath of the Wild. Just like gotta finish
I
that
don't
game.
understand it.
So here's what happened. That game came out when I started here, and then just didn't have time to finish it.
And he's a completionist.
Yes.
You know this.
I was gonna say it's amazing that you didn't have time to finish a game that you can literally finish at any time.
I know.
From the beginning. You can
Yeah,
finish
from
in the beginning. You can be
Yeah,
done.
yeah, I know.
Also, you're really good
So
at video
I
games, so
need
you could
to-
probably just run in at any point and kill him with like no
know,
armor
I
on
know.
at all.
There's also I have a list on my phone of things I need to do, and then things I need to do after I beat Ganon, and then things I need to do when I play it on master mode before the next game comes out.
Oh
I think
my
some
God.
people take medication for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Fair.
He takes Korok
I do have
seeds.
all the 900 Korok seed stuff. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Enjoy your
that's
golden
okay.
turd.
I love it.
I
It's
think
a
I have
trophy.
about 400, and
a
I hit that
trophy.
point, and I was like, you know what? I'm good.
When I hit 700 and something, I was like, I need all of them.
I'm sure there's a hump that you
Because the
just
fact
go,
that I found that many on my
yeah.
own, I was like, oh, I need the rest. I need the rest. Gotta have them.
Do you use the mask at least, or did you find 700 without the mask?
I used the mask for maybe like 10 to 20 tops.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you cheated.
I haven't used
No,
the
it's
mask
in the game.
for a lot of them, but like I usually don't go hunting. Like sometimes I'll just leave the mask on if there's nothing around. I'm like, oh, it's going
so
off. let me
many though.
follow
I
it,
was
but
just like, what is this? Oh, do this. Oh,
does
there's a
happen.
seed here. I love that. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
that does
yeah,
happen a
they
lot.
definitely entice you.
There does
It's-
not
it's
need to be
something.
900 in the next game though.
No.
I hope there's something like just totally different than that.
17,000 Korok seeds.
Oh my
It's
God.
amazing that there's that many, and they're still hard to find too.
Right. Well, that's how big the world is.
That game is crazy how big that game is. Like I was talking to my cousin the other day. I was like, it's amazing that game exists. I don't get the reference, Tom.
Sorry.
There's no reference. Tom's just delirious.
No, there's a reference, but
It must be the lights.
no, it's not the lights. It's a reference to a car dealership commercial. But I've been saying it like that for like 2 years, and then it dawned on me that car commercial is from a dealership in Philadelphia, and so no one has a reference to what I'm saying. All right, so we're gonna move on to our listener question, which I was good. I was happy with myself. I actually got it out early enough that people could take time to write in, and
I'm proud of you.
one person took time to write in. Do you want to take a guess who that is, Joe? You're correct. It's Stardust Speedway, as always, and we appreciate. I almost said your name on camera. We appreciate your patronage to our channel, coming all the way in from California. He asked, "What's?" And we'll have to keep this brief because we're probably. I don't even know what time where he started.
We just gave up on that.
We're almost at an hour and a half.
No.
Really?
It's 6:20.
Anyway, Stardust asked, what's your opinion of E3? Do you think it's dying? Nintendo doesn't have a press conference anymore, and Sony is now dropping out officially. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, Sony. I know Sony's dropping out officially, and they've done it before. But are they dropping out indefinitely? Are they done entirely, or is it just? Are they just saying like we have some big news on our own this year?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I remember the year that Nintendo said, we're dropping out. It was like people went nuts, and they
Yeah.
said, well, hold on, wait a minute. We're still going to announce stuff.
Right.
It's just going to be in our own way.
Yeah.
And Sony's kind of done the direct route with their state of plays.
Microsoft's
think-
done something similar too.
Right.
Right.
So I think their presence in an actual physical location at a convention, I think it hurts. I think it definitely, for 2 years in a row now, I think E3 still holds some water, but it's going to be Microsoft and some third-party people.
I feel like
And
it's
then
not
what-
as
what
important
else?
of a venue as it used to be.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
everybody can just announce whatever they want, whenever they want, with social media, YouTube, all that stuff.
Yeah, but it gives a platform
there's-
for like indie gamers or
Yeah.
indie developers who can't really do that.
Right. And think about all the, PAX events that have grown over the years.
Oh, well, gaming's grown in that and Comic-Con and all that too. So,
Yeah. So this one's trending in the opposite direction. So maybe it just ballooned to the point where it was too much, and it's just kind of, I don't know. Maybe it needs to reinvent itself.
remember
a
the
little
couple
bit.
years where E3 was like, oh, we gotta like tone it down and make it more of a like developer conference. Do you remember that?
I remember that because I was working at Game Crazy at the time. My boss went to it, and I was like, "Could I go?" And he was like, "Nah."
And people were like,
And
"Oh,
I'm like,
kind of
okay." So like,
sucked.
if every GameStop manager and went to E3, then it did kind of balloon itself up a little bit. So I was fine when they scaled it back, and then they tried to open it to the public, and that became its own thing. But
Which is funny because it's always been like that's for E3's for like media,
For
and, like,
press.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But PAX is for
fans.
Yeah, exactly. So why are people going to switch and go to E3 when PAX is such a such a developed event that like people want to go to that? Why am I going to start going to E3 if E3 is not doing anything new for me?
Because of it being so iconic in the industry for so many years, where it and I think the whole idea of all right, here's this big awesome thing with all these, but you can't come.
Yeah.
And you can't come. And for 20 years, no. And now all of a sudden, okay, you can come. I mean, people were just like, hell yeah. No, I think they were a little disappointed, but reports of people waiting 8 hours to play 20 minutes of Mario or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know how else you do it, So it'll be interesting this year, and I think the writing's on the wall if it is successful, or they say business as usual, and we'll see how that's affecting, the week in June that we usually all look forward to. I mean, I do. I know I do.
I
Kevin
do.
Does.
Yeah.
I don't, like. Oh, all right. Well, hold on. Yeah, I can't go to the gym today because I have to watch Microsoft's press conference. It's on at 6. And then just like streaming that and going, okay, cool.
The information overload during E3 is like, oh my gosh, so many videos and discussions, and it's
but
just
it's
crazy.
It's awesome.
It is awesome.
I think that part of it, as a true gaming
I
fan,
podcast daily for a week straight.
Oh my god. Yeah.
We could definitely do just a E3 recap, which might even end up being 2 episodes, considering we're at like an hour and a half right now.
Yeah.
We could do like 2 episodes or something of an E3 recap.
So what Joe's saying is,
Or we could do.
what we'll do is we'll do a
what to do.
live show after the Nintendo Direct.
Oh my gosh.
So you can get our initial reactions. Thank you for volunteering that, guys. Appreciate it.
Depends when that Nintendo Direct is.
Well, it's going to be
gonna be
Monday morning
It's
on
gonna be
at noon,
9 a.m.
right in the middle
their
of third
time.
block.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
not
always
live.
ends up falling. Yeah,
It's not
I
gonna
always
be
end up
live
watching
here.
it on my lunch because that's the second 30 minutes in there.
2:15 Eastern time. You'll get your live start.
No, we're going to break up the day. We'll just call it a cross-curricular activity.
Oh my gosh, Tom.
The biological reaction of Kevin's body
To the
we're gonna hook
Nintendo
up an
Direct.
EKG to you.
Oh my
And we'll watch the
gosh.
whole thing and then tape a podcast. Joe, you're going to have to take a sick day because you can't join us in the middle of the day.
Well, no, I can explain streaming to the kids.
Oh, there you go. Joe will access us
Joe, the
remotely.
kids know how streaming works.
No, they don't. They really don't.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna.
Some of them do.
We're gonna put a
Joe
bow.
knows better, though.
We're gonna put a bow in our show. And we're gonna say that's it for episode 7. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We hope if you enjoyed what we do here, all the cameras. Oh my god, I forgot to check the cameras in a while. Kevin, there's a long time we're on Joe and I apologize.
I told you I didn't want to be in it anyway.
What's
Well, we
perfect?
I'm
weren't
just a
playing-
voice
we weren't
over
playing
here.
Splatoon.
No, we weren't playing Platoon. If you like what we do, please subscribe. Leave us some feedback.
If you don't like what we do, subscribe anyway. Make us better, or hate on us, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, we're trying to get back over the 1,000 subscriber threshold on our YouTube channel. We were well over, and we've been slowly declining.
We kind of want to know why.
We
What
kind of want to know
content do you
why.
want to see?
Yeah, let us know.
Tell us.
Because as far as what's coming up, we got a review in the works for Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Mike and I have some press start episodes in the can. We got Ori and the Blind Forest being reviewed. There's a lot of stuff that we're always in the midst of doing, and this is arguably academically our slow season. So, there's going to be a few more things in the works now, and we're going to keep with it. So, thank you, as always, for being a part of this, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Joe is waiting for the bye, right?
Yep.
Like that was the hardest cut end,
Oh
and then
man.
it was
I
just
came back with
unusual.
it. Seriously, though, bye.